Hi everyone, welcome to Shop Talk. I'd like to show you a kit I put together for my technicians. It's a professional grade kit. If you're into the chainsaws, want to get into the chainsaw repair industry, you really need this kit, and I'll explain why and we'll go over some of the features. But it's a German-made pressure vacuum gauge. Very nice, top of the line, and it pressurizes, and you flip this and it vacuum. Comes with adapters and two block-offs to block off the crankcase. And the way those work, loosen the muffler up, slide this one in between the stud holes there, just covering the window, and then take it up snug, not real tight, just snug. That blocks off the exhaust. Take the carburetor, loosen it up, and this one with the little notches, slide it over the venturi there, and just by the studs, take it up snug, and you've just blocked off the crankcase. Last thing you need to do is take the spark plug out, put in a special adapter, hook your hoses up to it, and then you can pressure vacuum test the crankcase. And it's real important to pressure and vacuum test, because under pressure the seals can show good, but under vacuum the lips can leak around the edges and you can have a vacuum leak. This tool is also great for checking fuel systems. This is my gauge, which I've had for 6 years. Works beautiful. You can have a fuel issue and a fuel line issue, and it's real hard to diagnose unless you have a tool like this. Hook up the fuel line to it, squeeze off one end, and pressurize it, and it's leaking. And a lot of times you need to stretch this line. A lot of times these fuel lines with this ethanol will perforate, so you want to block it off, stretch the line a little bit, and that will show the perforations and it will leak. And if you think you do have a leak, squirt a little soap mix on there, pressurize it, and the bubbles will show you where it's leaking. I really like this tool for doing a quick diagnosis of the fuel system. Drain the gas out, reach in there and get the fuel line, take the fuel filter off, hook directly up to the fuel line, and then you can pressurize it. And this is determining, showing you several things. You can show that the fuel line's good, but you've got to check a couple other things, because you could have a restriction in here and still get a positive reading. So you want to pass this test, take the fuel line off, pressurize again, make sure it has not got a blockage. Put it back on there. Now it can also show like you have a leak on the fuel line, and it can be in the carburetor inlet needle leaking, so you'll want to determine that. Best way to do that is to pressurize it, and if it passes that test, squeeze the fuel line, pressurize it, and then pressurize right through the carburetor, and it will show you that the inlet needle is leaking, and you can determine that. A lot of issues can be related just to a vent on the chainsaw. I've made up several special caps. You can make these. They don't come with the kit. Just drill you a hole, make sure you got a tight fitting hose, screw it in here, hook up your gauge, put it to the vacuum mode, put a vacuum under it, and the gauge should bleed off slowly. If it sits there for more than probably 60 to a minute and a half, 60 seconds to a minute and a half, you probably got a restriction in that vent. That'll cause a lean run, and the customer will complain of the saw running out of power. Anyway, if you're wanting to purchase this kit, I do make these up. They are very professional. Give me a call and we can get one going your way.